Hey, hi, how are you? My name's Felt. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. Today we're doing Esper Control. Is that a good? Not gonna lie. AKA, this is Esper Control, but I'm using battles and just having a little bit of fun with it. Standard has been pretty dull lately for me. The meta didn't really get shaken up as much as I would have liked. With the new set, there's the occasional new thing, but like, it's kind of instead of the reanimator slash cheat out a big card flavor of the month being Atraxa, it's now just Itali. So, on average, the meta hasn't shifted that hard one way or the other. So, Esper Control is still basically the same thing. We are trying to use some of the new cards, such as Invasion of Innistrad, which is a pretty powerful flash effect that does -13/-13. It's a kill spell that if you can flip it, which sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but the kill spell part can be pretty useful. But if you flip it, it's just pure unadulterated graveyard hate. And when people are trying to cheat out stuff like the new Shieldred, which functions based off your graveyard having 8 or more cards in it, you can just eat your own graveyard. Make a bunch of little tokens. Technically, we actually don't have any creature cards to exile to make tokens, but we can eat our own graveyard to prevent Shieldred from activating. Other new battles we have, Invasion of Fiora, a pretty powerful new battle. It can be a one-sided board wipe if your opponent is running a legendary deck like Esper Legends or Naya Legends, which are, still very much a thing right now. Invasion of Fiora is able to hit all of that while leaving all of your token creatures alive, because all we run is token creatures. Which will make more sense in a minute. And if you flip it, you get Machessa, Resolute Monarch. I don't know if it's actually pronounced Machessa, but I want to pronounce it that way. Really powerful thing. When it attacks, remove all counters from up to one target permanent, meaning you instantly destroy planeswalkers, or you instantly flip battles. Don't be like me. Don't forget that that's a line of text on her. Make sure she's always attacking face. Or, like, if there's a planeswalker and a battle, just make sure that you remember which one you're removing counters from properly. She's a really powerful card, though, because she also has a baked-on Phyrexian Arena effect. As long as you don't take combat damage, which happens more often than you think in the more mid-range control matchups. Other than that, deck's pretty straightforward. It's kind of the same cards we've been playing. Some Void Rens, Go for the Throats, Negates, Make Disappears, Wedding Announcements, a couple of Kaidos, Wandering Emperors. Elspeth does make an appearance. She does have a pretty good +1, making a bunch of life-linking tokens, and a good -3, making those life-linking tokens fly around. Sunfall, amazing new board wipe, running 2 copies of it, because being able to board wipe and then have a plus side out of it at the other end of it can be really, really nice, especially because there's not really many decks that you need Farewell to hit, but it is still in here just in case. One of my actual favorite cards in the deck that has turned around many a game into mono red, Invasion of Tolvada. When it enters the battlefield, return target non-battle permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. So any of your, planeswalkers who might have died to burn spells like the Wandering Emperor. When you flip it, which I highly recommend you try and flip this one, creature tokens you control get +1/+0 and have lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. Meaning, you're making a spirit creature token every turn, minimum, and minimum 1 new creature token a turn off of this thing, as long as someone doesn't remove it, and if they do, well, you have other big threats that are in here. And on top of that, since you're running Wedding Announcement, and Wandering Emperor, and Kaido, and other Kaido, all of which make token creatures, all of those start gaining lifelink. Meaning that if you're playing into Mono Black trying to drain you out with Corrupt and Invoke Despairs, or Mono Red trying to burn you out, if you can kind of futz around and kill time with your counterspells and removal, and land an Invasion of Tolvada, you can basically play a Wandering Emperor 1 turn, dump all of its loyalty, play Invasion of Tolvada, get it right back, be able to try and hit and flip it within the next 2 turns, and then all of your tokens have lifelink, making it quite difficult for a lot of decks to really finish you out. Same reason that we run a couple of copies of Kaya in here. Lots and lots of life gain. You might be like, well, a lot of these are really slow cards. Do they really work out? They work out more often than you think. Playing 4 Go for the Throats, 2 Cut Downs, and 2 Void Rens adds up to a lot of removal. Combine that with Wandering Emperor and Sunfall, you can buy yourself a lot of time to be able to flip an Invasion of Tolvada. It's one of the bigger win cons in the deck, but it's not the only win con. Obviously, we can just drain with Kaya or just poison them with Vraska or something like that. But either way, this intro has already gone on far too long. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like content like this. I know I've been posting a lot of historic Brawl content, but I still do play Standard from time to time. The deck list will be down in the description below. Feel free to toy with it however you like. This is just how I like to run the deck, and it's just been kind of a powerhouse for me in the Standard ladder. Either way, let's hop right into the gameplay. We are going first. We'll totally draw a white mana, right? We won't. We're debatably more keepable hand. I think I'll drop the Vraska. Actually, Vraska gives me card draw. We'll drop the Invasion of Telvada. Elspeth can find lands, believe it or not. So, keep her. Play it like this in case we draw a turn 2 removal spell or something. Not, we will just play this because we don't have anything else to play here. Raffine's Informant. Did I accidentally sign up for Explorer here? Or did they drop Why did they drop Kaya? Are they also playing Invasion of Telvada? Spicy if true. I'm confused as to why they dropped Kaya. If I said Vraska, it's because I read Vraska. Reading is hard. So there's some type of... So they're 4 color at minimum, if not 5 color good stuff. Okay. So they're going to sacrifice their creature to blow up my thing, when honestly I feel like they could have just not done that. Thankfully we got ourselves an Archangel Elspeth. That'll kind of keep our board state stable. I don't quite know what my opponent is playing. Right now it just kind of looks like a hodgepodge of random nonsense. We'll try and set up a trade. Totally worth it for me, IMO. Doesn't look like they have any forms of interaction or anything, so we will just slam our Vraska here. Wow, you are loud, Vraska. The other reason is because we can actually -6 our Archangel Elspeth and get back our wedding announcement if we so choose. Which is a little bit of a weird choice, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's literally just Invasion of Telvada. I was absolutely correct. That's funny. What are they gonna do?
Sounds easy enough.
Alright, well, I will scry here. Voidrend. I'm not picking that up because I think it'll be able to take out Kaya. I'm just picking it up because it's a good removal spell.
Point me towards the fight. I'm ready. I know there's a hero inside you.
So we nearly just straight up kill their, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. We nearly just straight up kill their Kaya here. Which is really nice.
There goes my patience.
They can't minus it anymore, which is the big reason we went for that big play. They can't minus it and kill this. They need to find some other way to kill the flyer. Which at the moment, it doesn't look like they have a way to do. We might just straight up Voidrend their Fable.
I'll keep watch.
Land is good. We might just Voidrend their Fable just so they don't get card selection. It's a bit of a weird one. I'll do that. God, some of these things are so loud. We'll make a bunch of flying angels. Seems like a pretty good idea to me.
The angels have returned, so you better give up now.
We'll blow that up. We'll just kind of keep on vibing.
Gambit didn't pay off.
So yeah, my opponent is in, like, a pretty rough position over there. We have 3 Planeswalkers rolling. There's no blood on the snow in this format. They could have answers. They very well could, but we have, lethal in air. This is lethal. Italy! Wow! Unless they find a really good answer, I think we just straight up kill them. What did they hit off of us? Make disappear. And they... Yeah, I think we just kill them now. I'm pretty sure they are dead. I'm pretty sure nothing they do saves them from this point onwards. Because, we can go through the math really quick just to be like, this is exactly how they're dead. Also, you're currently witnessing why I think this deck goes pretty well into the Italy players. This is 15 damage right here. This adds up to 21, not even counting the fact that I will be able to plus on another thing, plus on another thing, proliferate all them their things, and then just swing in for big chonkin' damage. I'm pretty sure I can actually make all of my things have flying on that swing to where they don't even have a chance to block. Yeah. Yeah, this deck can pop off really fast if your opponent gives you time like that. They let me have way too much time, I think. Either way, GG's opponent. On to the next. Hey, we're actually going first for once. And you might be like, what do you mean you're going first for once? I've cut out probably like 10 different games that you, the viewer, don't get to see here because of just the sheer amount of just games where Mono Red goes first on the play and they just have a perfect ramping curve. We don't need to kill this chick. We can just hold back on the thing. We'll probably work our way towards Invasion of Innistrad to hit some removal. Probably go for the throat if they play something a little more scary than, you know, a single Phoenix chick. Yeah, Feldon can go. Feldon's 2 damage a turn. We don't really have any, like, removal targeted stuff that hits like a Feldon for, like, damage, but, like, it's the classic case of, why not just go ahead and remove them in case they play, like, Brotherhood's End or something to take care of my boardwalkers? Planeswalkers. Words are hard. Another Phoenix chick. If that's all they're playing, I think we just kind of let it go. 2 damage a turn doesn't really scare me. And because we're slowly working towards a Sunfall, I am, not exactly scared. Elspeth easily lives through double Phoenix chicks, and they need to double Phoenix chick and Lightning Strike the Elspeth in order to kill her, and I can't imagine that that's what they're going to do. I could very well be wrong. They could go hard in the paint to make sure Elspeth dies, but that's like all their resources for the turn. And then we get to Invasion of Telvada and bring it right back. Did they really just play with fire the singular 1/1 with lifelink? I'm not gonna lie, opponent, that was in fact a decision. Alright, calm down, Elspeth. You're being very loud right now. We still have Invasion of Innistrad. We're probably gonna end up winning out on this game, unless my opponent somehow comes out with from the top rope, hits me with the... We're just gonna do this now, because why not? There's no reason to not just save myself a little bit of hassle. Invasion of Regatha, at least they're doing something different. That says another target battle or opponent, by the way. You have to hit me in the face with it, so my Elspeth gets to kind of keep living. We could Sunfall to blow up the Phoenix check, but I feel like I'm just gonna keep on baiting out all of their removal under the sun. Let's go ahead and do this. He's gonna phase out anyways, so let's just go for it. They're tapped out, I don't care. And this does let me actually keep multiple things, so I can finally swing at something. Do they really run that many Mishra's Foundries? I am absolutely, like, shocked and appalled here that they are running that. Man, they really hate lifelinkers. You know what? I really hate your birds. All is well. By God. You're so loud, Elspeth. We'll hit that. Why not? It'll be able to start eating up their graveyard at some point. Thanks. We don't have anything down there we care about, do we? Nah. And we'll just be able to cycle Rafine's Tower. They can only power up one of these unless they get a second land, and if they do power up both of them, we get the Invasion of Telvada to bring back one of our Planeswalkers. They did not hit their land drop. Here comes the Play with Fire to blow up my 1/1 with lifelink. Play with Fire to blow up Kaido, which is actually kind of what we want, because Invasion of Telvada, you know. Opponent, buddy, pal, that tapped your Mishra's Foundry. Why did you bother to power it up? You can now do this, right? There's actually no reason to play that yet, now that I think about it. We'll just keep going after this, and then, make a new token, draw a card. My opponent's gotten a little mana screwed, so I don't feel like this is a really great showcase of the deck. But I'm not gonna lie, this is so cathartic to watch Mono Red be mana screwed for once. I just... Jeff's kiss. Strangle! Oh no! I guess I'll have to play Invasion of Telvada now.
I have given everything.
I find it interesting that Voidwind is non-land permanent, but I guess it's a way to balance it, right? You can also just plus on this little thing.
You started this fight. Strike fast and strike.
So my opponent also just like threw away a land there, kinda not grand for them. Let's play this invasion. Bring back Archangel Elspeth. Minus her on one of these things. Plus... flip that. And there goes Mono Red. It was cathartic to beat Mono Red. This wasn't a good showcase of the deck, though. But it was so cathartic, we're leaving this in anyways. GG's, Mono Red. We're on the play, we have a Negate, a Sunfall, an Emperor. A debatably keepable hand. Why do I call it debatably keepable? Because if my opponent's playing aggro, this hand probably get me killed in the long run. Unfortunate. Oh, they're just playing that in passing? Okay, well, we now have a Negate up, which will be very useful if my opponent plays any type of non-creature spell. So we're at an impasse here. I think the answer is to do this, and then wait for my opponent to cast a spell that'll pump the Spell Spear, and then blow it up in response. Because that way we get to keep our mana proper. Looks like my opponent's going to miss their land drop here. That is wonderful for me. That means we can now hold up a counter magic and just the Wandering Emperor. And Mono Red scoops it up! Easy clap! Once again, not a good showcase of the deck, but by God, it felt good to stick it to Mono Red. I mean, to be fair, it does show off how the deck can, you know, play one removal spell and Mono Red just scoops. Now let's go with that. Let's go with that. I swear I'm not keeping the all removal games in. This is a good hand, though. It's a 50-50 on whether or not I should be playing Raffine's Tower or Caves of Koilos first. But on average, there isn't really many 1-drops that need immediate answering that you can't also take out on turn 2. Being able to play a tapped Raffine's Tower is really nice. That bodes well for me to be able to do this. Proof's in the pudding. They don't get to mana ramp. That bodes really well for me. I think we will play this land. It's a toss-up. They both come in tapped and I can't do anything about it, but if I draw an untapped land, I can just kind of keep this there. This is a weird one to kill, but just killing off the Topiary Stomper just means that it's not a threat in the future when they eventually get enough lands to play it. Yeah, now I can just go ahead and do this. It's not the greatest removal spell, but it is something less to worry about. Invasion of Agamon. They're probably just playing big stompy nonsense, involving probably a Tally. Yeah, they're just a Tally, probably. I can't imagine they're playing anything else besides a Tally. Doing stuff like this, this screams, I just want to play Big Dino Man. Which is fine, you know? You have fun, opponent. There's a really good chance my opponent hits a Planeswalker off of this Atali, but there's also a really good chance that they hit absolutely nothing off this Atali. Oh, it's not a Tally! I'm shocked. This is not a Tally at the exact point in time we are in. We will probably play Wandering Emperor. Oh, it's a Raptor. Well, we'll exile this guy then. So are they like Dino Ramp or something?
This is what you get for hurting my people.
It could be Dino Ramp.
Remember your training.
Big boy Dino Ramp. Alright, this is a bit cheeky, but we just don't want the Wandering Emperor to die. And keeping her alive in that exact instance isn't a terrible thing.
May your blade strike true.
Considering my opponent is now just playing top deck mode, that bodes pretty well for me overall. Especially when I can start swinging in and start putting on the pressure, because we have a first striker at the moment. We have a bounce spell and a kill spell. Kind of. A 4 damage kill spell. Which works out pretty well for the most part. Vorinclex. Egads. We kill Vorinclex. We could have bounced him as well, but thinning out our opponent's deck is not what we want to do at the moment. Really? Only basic forests? Celestis, my darling. Something that'll give me really great card selection as I keep playing here. Unfortunately, there's a really big chance that they're just going to play a Tally soon. Make Disappear does help in this exact instance, though. They have 9, 10 mana? I They can play a tally through that. In case you're wondering why I'm just, like, screaming a tally, it's more or less just like a... It's probably what they're doing. Alright, well, if that's what's happening, we're just gonna bounce the Titan. They get to replay it, probably make some more stuff, but...
I have got new moves to teach you.
I have first strike. Hog. We will go ahead and flip the day-night cycle. Because we will get to flip the day-night cycle again. And we pull the Sunfall. Very, very good card for most of the things my opponent is probably trying to play. Titan again. Especially if they make a Rhino token again. If they do, there's a bit of a weird choice we can go for here, right? Where we actually make an extra token and then Sunfall the board to get a slightly bigger extra token here. This guy is now a 5/5, which is nice. I can't imagine I'm going to be able to counterspell anything my opponent plays. Yeah, just a random Vorinclex. We'll be able to flip this, make it into a 6/6 with first strike, which will be nice. Or if nothing else, just a 6/6 in general. They really are just kind of playing big stompy, huh? Oh no! They get to flip Vorinclex and do something. What is it? Mill 10 cards, but 2 creature cards from among the milled. That's really unfortunate. That is really unfortunate, opponent.
Remember your training.
Let's go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it. Because that means that I'm pretty sure that this next thing here just kind of flubs. At this hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll drop this. Yeah, I'd say turn 2 here just kind of flubs. Distributing a bunch of counters doesn't do anything for my opponent if they have nothing on board. I feel a little bad for them. They had some really bad luck here. Speaking of bad luck, that is game.
I'll see this.
That's my Topiary Stomper now. Thank you, opponent. I can find a basic, I guess. Hit him with a good game. Bonk him in the face for 7. GG's, opponent. This could have been a very, very different game if they had actually hit something on the Vorinclex. This could have gone a lot longer and a lot more drawn out if they had hit something off the Vorinclex there, but because I exiled a lot of their biggest thing there, or is it among the 10? Among the 10. Oh, never mind. I misread the card. I haven't gotten too much of a chance to play with new Vorinclex, so I apologize for not knowing him yet. I know he has reach, though. I know he has reach. But yeah, they just kind of whiffed on their mill 10. They hit, what, 3 lands? They hit, what, that's 3 lands? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands, 2 battles, a sorcery, and an enchantment. That is really rough. But GG's, opponent. You nearly had me, to be fair. If this Vorinclex had hit something really big, I would have been in big trouble. Yeah, on to the next. Opponent goes first. We're keeping this on a hunch. What is that hunch? I will draw an untapped land, and my opponent is not actually playing mono black. Fuck. Alright, I was 50-50. I drew a tap land, and my opponent's probably not playing mono black. Oh, it's actually mono black, huh? Well, more you know. We still have Void. We have Void Rend here, which would be really nice for just blowing up their Bankbuster at some point. Or Flesh Gorger. They can swing in with the Bankbuster, but it's really not that big of a deal. Also, this is the most by-the-books mono-black mid-range I've ever had the misfortune of playing into. Why do I say misfortune? Because for some reason I found a lot of mono-black mid-range players are just incredibly slow. I'm surprised they're going for the crew here. Maybe they have one of those, I'm going to do this because this is going to be a Shieldred. Right? Oh Oh, they're going to draw off it. All right, well, now it's not going to be a Shieldred, which means I get to play Archangel Elspeth. Okay, well, if they're going to do that, never mind. We're just going to... Boop. Here's the Invoke Despair. It's 5 mana. It's time. How does he do it? It's almost like Mono Black has literally been paint by numbers for like 3 sets here. This is gonna hurt me by like a life. And there's other things I could be doing here. But I feel like just doing that and then making the Wandering Emperor appear as a threat is more than enough to make my opponent do something different. Of course, knowing my luck, they got another Invoke Despair. I'm gonna put an upkeep stop just in case the game doesn't... Blood's Edict, Wall XD. Goodbye, Shieldred. If we draw another land, we get to slam Celestis, which is wunderbar. Oh, game you shouldn't have. Liliana of the Veil. Oh, please! Please do it! Please!
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault. I'm tired of your secrets.
Technically speaking, we could have the problem of... Evolved Sleeper's not a big deal. We steal it. They could still have a, What's the name of that card that I'm thinking of? Oh, well. I technically probably... This is probably the best play, but I want to steal. We're committing crimes against the Empire and her people. I think technically this has the... Yeah, this has the stuff on it, which is really weird, meaning we can just start plussing it. It's very strange. It's a very weird interaction. I don't know if that's a recent change, but I know they recently... Oh, spicy. I know they recently started doing stuff like that. We'll play Kaido. We will use Kaido to draw a card to see if we hit our land. We did not. We will use Kaya to draw 2 cards, and our opponent may scry 1. We hit our land. We will have our 3rd Planeswalker out. It will be quite difficult for my opponent to be able to do much. Not impossible, mind you, but quite difficult. Did they really keep a hand with a removal spell in it? Really? Hey man, more power to you. I'm going to assume this is a go for the throat here, though. We will take this action. We will probably... we'll dump this Seachrome Coast in case they play, like, a Shieldred or something scary. Oh, it's just a Sorin. Psh.
I am vengeance, bloody and righteous. You can deal with my servant.
Don't overthink things.
Cannot attack or block. Make a thing. Opponent loses life.
Your time's almost up.
Yeah.
Death is obsolete. Embrace the inevitable.
Let's just go for it. Just kind of start going big and bold and beautiful. Alright, so I lose 2 life and they draw 1 card, and then I think we sack Vraska, funny enough. We have enough everything else going on over here that we don't really need to worry. Oh no, Graveyard Trespasser, that's going to hit, I don't know, your own Shieldred?
Very well.
Drop it.
They can't play that. We can steal that in a second here. We don't want to steal that anymore. Yeah, let's do this.
All right, little buddy. Let's
Make a
clean
thing.
this mess.
Drain some life.
Just give up already.
They can swing in with their flyer, but we have just made a line of blockers. Meaning that even if my opponent draws removal, makes me discard with Liliana, or sorry, makes me sack with Liliana, I still have lots of stuff going on over here. We sack that because it provides the least amount of upsides.
You go.
I don't think any of my Planeswalkers can... Interesting, they went for the next one of those.
I bring
Go for the throat, interesting. Depending on how they do this determines exactly how I handle my responses. If they swing with Graveyard Trespasser, I think they're just straight trolling, honestly. I think they are straight trolling. Wow. They just threw away their Graveyard Trespasser for no reason. I guess they just really wanted that card draw. Ah, Void Rend. What a lovely card. Up to one target creature can't block. We will steal the vampire. We will make a soldier token. We will end our turn, and we will not trigger that. We just want to hold on to the Void Rend. That thing still can't swing or block or anything. It's pretty cool if you ask me. Them plussing that, little annoying, not the end of the world. We could eventually try and flip Invasion of Telvada here, but...
Dire times call for dire tactics.
The thing that always gets me when I watch people play cards like Graveyard Glutton is they will always go after their opponent's graveyard, when you have no idea if they have ways of getting that back. In place of eating your own graveyard, to like, I don't know, maybe eat your Graveyard Trespasser or your Shield Druid or something like that. Also, you really think I don't have, like, an answer to that I'm just gonna play out when you try and make me discard a card? Don't know about that one, Chief. That was a choice. Let's give this guy some stuff. Let's, yoink that. Let's, make a thing.
You fight for me now.
Let's go kill Liliana. You might think it's a little strange to keep the, make disappear, but it's because we want to be able to get rid of it in that exact instance. We can counter any number of things now, up to, up to, like, 4 mana. If they try and, blitz this in, we will just sack a creature token. Or if they try and play that. Let's get rid of, I don't know, their vampire. Mono black mid-range, you're sure trying, but I guess they just wanted to do that because they knew they had nothing else to play? Are you really going to swing that? I guess they just really want to devour my graveyard and do 0 damage to me while also giving me life and killing off their own creature. For some ungodly reason, they wanted to do all of that simultaneously. We'll decline. Make more tokens. Let's actually draw some cards here.
I've done my research.
They get to scry one, which is fine. You can't attack or block.
Who's slow?
We will swing with 2 things. Actually, I think we want to kill their card advantage. As much as we'd like to flip Invasion of Telvada, I'd rather kill their card advantage.
My way.
We do get to draw a card here. We got another Kaya, meaning that we can, like, sack away that one if we so choose. And my opponent loses the game, because they have no way of preventing all of this. Let's make their life easier. Now you don't even have to think. You're done. Goodbye. This is the type of matchup where this deck really shines. Anything that goes, like, anything at, like, mid-range speed or slower stuff that's trying to play your Shield Druids and Invoke Despairs, we'll eventually claw our way back into it. We have so much removal, so much value in our Planeswalkers, and it's really hard to take out all of the threats we are providing simultaneously, while they are all providing us infinite amounts of value. GG's Mono Black, you did get me pretty low at one point. I think they got me down sub 10, which is pretty good, but ending at 28 kind of says a lot, doesn't it? On to the next. Opponent goes first. We have turn 1 and turn 2 removal. Looks like we probably won't need it, though, based off that. We will still probably play Darkslick Shores here, just in case, but... yeah, alright. We'll play this so that we can hit Wedding Announcement on curve. Not exactly... well, this actually worked out. I am pleasantly surprised. Usually that's not what happens, but I guess they're just playing a Reanimator game plan over there. Because you come in untapped, we will do this, and then we will probably play our Kaido and use him to draw some cards after this to try and find our way into other answers. I can't imagine this is anything other than Reanimator. They threw away the Laydown Arms? I'm shocked. I feel like this really has got to be Reanimator. Or do they have another Laydown Arms? Okay, thanks for the life, bud. I could use this to draw, or we could just completely lock Requisition of Riveteers out of the game.
You can't fight what you can't see.
I'm really expecting an Invoke Justice in my near future. You can go for the Kiki Jiki and then just keep the Requisitioner Riveteers locked down. They could technically have a way to sacrifice it, but I ain't sweating. Keeping this guy locked down, like, indefinitely? Pretty nice. We play this because, well, why not? If my opponent doesn't play anything, we dump the Kaya, potentially draw into something better, and then Invasion of Telvanna to immediately bring the Kaya back. They could have a big score over there. Yeah, okay, that's not surprising. I'm really surprised that they just threw away a Capariti Courtyard. Maybe they're just trying to hardcast a tally. Maybe that's what it is. It's a definite possibility that they're just trying to hardcast a tally. Invasion! I could steal their Requisitioner Riveteer here. Say hi to Kaya. She's cool. He's going to slowly drain you out. Please do not resist.
Evil threatens them. You're not safe from me.
I don't really think I want to flip that, but I do want to flip that.
What you can't see.
Do I think they have hasty threats? I think that they would have no problem blitzing in a Requisitioner Riveteer.
Anyone who harms my people must cut.
Not what I expected to see, I'm not gonna lie. Of all the things I expected to see, Wandering Emperor, not actually on that list. I guess they're realizing maybe they're just kind of mid-rangey? Oh, they want to trade? Sure, yeah. They're just kind of a mid-rangey pile. Who knows, man? Who knows? Elspeth, hello, friend. Looks like they're out of Emperors, so we will just make this fly over the top. We will, steal their Requisitioner Riveteers. We will make this unable to block or attack. We'll kill off their Emperor because we don't want them to have it. And we will vibe. If they just play like an Atali or something, I think we just try and steal it. Portal to Phyrexia. I'm kind of right. Thanks for the treasure token. And as a result, we kill that. Because why not? Let's draw two. Words is hard, yo. They do get to scry one, which does hurt me a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Let's start making some little tokens. Let's go ahead and flip Day-Night Cycle. Ooh, Voidrend. Very good. They don't have any creatures down there, do they? No, I exiled their only one. I don't think they play anything negate worthy other than maybe Portal to Phyrexia, which doesn't really scare me. Italy gods! We're gonna steal it. We're gonna go commit some crimes. They got a negate. That's unfortunate. And then they got a requisition. Oh no, they got a... Wait, hang on. Oh, I did it too fast. I looked too fast. They got a cut down. And then a restoration of Iganjo. Yeah, you can't actually cut down the Death Toucher, fun fact. We will, in fact, blow up the restoration of Iganjo. Because I don't want them to get any value out of that. And I was absolutely right. It's an Atali deck. We're going to steal their Atali now. Just going to throw that whole idea out there. Oh, lay down arms. Thank you for the life opponent. Fine. And thank you for the Atali. Very cool card. Thank you very much. Oh, they just realized. Oh, no. Here's a note out there for you Atali enjoyers. Be very careful of cards like Kaya that can steal and give your opponent Atali procs. Because that can happen really easily. Just kind of a one-of that does that, but there are other cards that can, like, steal stuff, like Invoke the Winds can, like, just steal Atali. Stuff like that. Just be a little bit wary. Either way, GG's opponent. Opponent goes first, and if they are playing anything other than Mono Red, I will be absolutely shocked and appalled. So we need to find something that kills Mono Red, and we found it, baby! This is a 50-50. I think we play this just in case we want to be able to Voidrend on curve. This is a 50-50 because there's a chance Cut Down could kill what they land, and there's a chance that they just play a 2-drop that Cut Down doesn't kill. Oh, did they just, like, not have a drop? Oh, that's huge! Oh, no, they did. Okay, well, we lost the 50-50. There's a chance that they play something we want to make disappear, but there's a much larger chance that they play something we just want to kill instead. Don't strain yourself too hard over there, Mono Red. We'll just go ahead and counterspell it. That means on this next turn we can cut down and counterspell, which will be nice. We kept a very removal-heavy hand, but I'm not going to lie, the Sleeves and Avatar really gave him away. Alright, so instead we can just double removal! Because if they have that, that means they have nothing else. I think we play the wedding announcement. This is a really big toss-up chance. They could have something in their hand like that is just like terrifying for me. That's not terrifying. What is terrifying is the fact that I keep not getting any land drops. Oh boy. Mono faces Kakazan. We will blow up their current etchings. This is so painfully unlucky right now. This my opponent is just playing directly into what I want to do. Oh, thank you, game. You gave me something playable. Depending on what they draw here determines how we have to play this. Fine by me. Don't really have a choice but to vibe. We missed our land drop. Unfortunately, we don't really have anything that Invasion of Telvanna helps with. Yeah, you can't do anything, opponent. Thank you. Come again. My opponent literally has me on death's door here. Are they reading Phoenix Check? Because they don't get to pull back Phoenix Check right now. We will do that. We will flash this in and kill off the etchings of Kumano. There's a chance! Oh my lord, we have a chance to come out of this alive! If my opponent doesn't draw a lightning strike. Don't draw a lightning strike! Don't draw one! No! Oh, it's just a strangle. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Strangle's fine. No lightning strikes! No lightning strikes! If we don't get lightning striked, we win! We don't actually win, but we have a really good baseline for being able to mount a comeback. Gaining 2 life a turn. Wonder what card my opponent's been holding on to. I imagine they have been holding the Strangle, but outside of that, they're clearly sitting on something. More life gain. Yes. Yes. Believe it or not, we do actually want to flip that. We do want to flip this. It makes zombie creature tokens. That's fine, because we can Invasion of Telvanna it back. They don't know that, but I know that.
If we lose, none will be spared.
And I think we did it. I think we weathered the storm into Mono Red.
Follow my light.
Both of them have to swing at this, but that is 6 gained life. And I start making a token each turn. And my other tokens get power, and I think we weathered the storm. I think we win now. I think it is quite impossible for Mono Red to kill me from this point. I don't think Mono Red has enchantment removal. I don't think Mono Red has planeswalker removal. They do, sorry. They would, actually. They would have, I give them 2 cards off this if I block, but they're just scooping. Oh my lord. That was incredibly lucky. All the way down. Them not top deck, them top decking Strangles in place of more lightning strikes. Ooh, man, that saved it. That is pure RNG. I feel a little bad because they had me dead to rights, but also, that's why I think a lot of Mono Red has dropped Strangle. Either way, GG's opponent. We are going first, and we are keeping because we have all of our colors, early removal, and cards that we want to be able to play later. Not what I expected. I think we play the caves here. I think we hide our blue mana for a hot minute. We don't really care about the Unlucky Witness. Oh, they're playing Rakdos of some sort. I don't think we care about 1 damage a turn, especially when we're literally going to play 2 gain lands here. Interesting. Really not what I'm expecting here. This Kaido does instant die to these. I guess this is probably just some type of Rakdos sacrifice, which means Farewell is insane. We might play Kaido and let him die. We're holding here because there's really high odds that they play Fable, and I'd rather go for the throat on their little treasure-making monkey. It's technically a goblin, not a monkey, but I have to. I was thinking, like, can I find a way to keep hiding my my blue mana? No.
Wannabe tyrants gotta get through me. I got fresh intel.
Technically speaking, they could easily find a way to blow up Kaido here, but I think that extra draw that I got might still be worth it. A 4-mana draw 1 isn't a big deal. A 4-mana draw 1 that causes my opponent to completely divert their attention and spend kill spells on it, worth. When I have, you know, much better things like Kaya and Emperors. Baby. Oh, they're just going face? Oh, that's fine. Little Gabi can't attack.
That should be enough of a distraction.
Wedding announcement to vibe. We don't want the Gabi to attack because we don't want them getting any extra mana because it looks like they might be missing land drops. I mean, I say that, but I really don't know because they actually refused to Fable the first time around. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they are hitting land drops and I'm just like not realizing it. Did I go on the draw or on the play? I have been recording a long time for this video because there's lots of games where like you play tons of removal and stuff and like still ends up not being worth it in the long run. That right there, by the way, that's what we're happy to have gotten out. Kaya dies to those real easily. And we don't bother to block. We're still at 15 life. Unfortunately, this does kind of hurt us in the short term. Because we're not allowed to play Wandering Emperor, but it does mean we can play Farewell on curve here in a second. Not on curve, sorry. It does mean we can play Farewell here in a second. That's the bottom line. Do we bother to... That's very strange swinging. We just jump block. I was going to say, do we bother to exile all treasure tokens? And I think it depends on what they play here. If they spend those treasure tokens on something, I don't think so. Since... Do we want to hit graveyards? Is there anything down there? We don't want to hit graveyards, so we can do this. Yeah, we don't need a second Wandering Emperor. We need more lands. I think we hit creatures and artifacts to force them to do something with this mana. Because otherwise they lose it. We lose 1 mana, they lose 2. So I think that's a pretty... not literally fair trade, but I think that's a pretty good trade for us. It technically delays our Kaya by a turn, and it cuts out one of our sources of life gain, but my opponent hasn't really shown anything that scares me. They've been playing cards that look like they're trying to play a sacrifice plan, but they haven't played anything that can sacrifice it, so I don't know. There's the sacrifice plan. Interesting. I don't know why they're playing Monumental Facade. I don't know what that works with. I don't think we actually play Kaya here. I think we chill. I think we just straight up chill. I think we just kind of vibe. The odds of them having another Sheoldred's Edict in hand is pretty high. Honestly, if they try and cut down my thing, which is very likely, once again, because of, you know, Rakdos colors. If they try and cut down, we probably just, like, flash in the Wandering Emperor. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature until end of turn continues whenever. Okay. What a weird card to play. I guess they're just like, I want to play the new things. Yeah, we'll just do this, and we will exile the Voldaren Thrillseeker. Okay, we will, we'll actually make a treasure. We'll make a samurai token here to make them really think about, do they want to blow this up to kill my Emperor?
Let your blade do the talking.
I don't actually care that much about my Emperor dying here. That's the thing. That's why we're kind of trying to get them to do something about it. So we're trying to bait out the Voldaren Thrillseeker being sacked to kill it. Or maybe another Sheoldred's Edict, because that way Kaya lands safely. We could force it out of them with a Go for the Throat, which I think we're going to do now. We're going to force it out of them. I don't want that hanging around on the board. Yes, that's so good for us. Because that means if they do have another Sheoldred's Edict, the Emperor dies, not Kaya. And I think we will draw 2 cards. My opponent gets to scry 1, which means they can find better stuff in the meantime. But
my research.
this bodes really well for us. I still don't know why they're playing Monumental Facade. I haven't seen anything yet that, like, screams I use oil counters. Hey, what do I know? Here comes the Sheoldred's Edict? Not just Go for the Throat. Okay. What did they keep on top if they use the Go for the Throat there? Invoke Despair? I don't really know what my opponent's running. It's very hard to...
Until next time, then.
Heaton Alive, huh?
Gotta think on my feet.
Having triple removal now bodes okay. We can just use Kaya to keep constantly drawing cards here, though. Which, at the moment, I think is very good. Braids! If they want to sack Braids to draw and make me lose life, I think I'll let them do it. They could try and sack a land, but I have tons of lands that I can sack, like these pain lands over here. I have a mana advantage, and I am drawing more cards than them. I think they're trying to decide if they want to do it, because they're like, well, they have so many more lands than me. If I'm sacking lands, I make them sack lands. So I guess they could sack their own Braids to draw a card, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the play here. I do wonder why they're roping now. This is kind of a straightforward, do I sack Braids to draw a card or not? I feel like if I was in their shoes, I might just sack the Braids herself. If I wanted to. If I was really concerned about the Kaya, I might be like, okay, well, I run Sheoldred's Edict, I run Invoke Despair. Either one of them could find a way to hit this Kaya. Maybe I sack the Braids. They don't have a creature to sack. And that way, I draw a card, they lose 2 life, I put myself in a better position. However, there is also the, well, I could draw more stuff to sack to the Braids in the future. They could also just be roping me and being salty because they lost. I don't actually know if they've lost. I don't know what they run in their deck. I don't know anything like that. This is a joke to poke fun at the people who rope in this game. This could just be a hard DC. This could just be a disconnect. The servers in this game are not perfect. This game is not perfect. So I don't want to immediately jump to conclusions, but I've been salty roped by quite a few people lately playing this deck. And I think it's just a matter of it just does everything. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of draws all the cards, drains all the life, and if I get past the opening few turns, I'll probably claw my way back from the brink. I will say, though, this deck probably performed much better in testing than it did in recording, but that seems to always be the case. If you all are also video recorders and content creators and whatever else you want to call it out there, you also know the pain of the second you hit record... oh, they're finally doing it. The second you hit record, all of a sudden you play up against your least favorable matchups 12 times in a row. We will draw.
Let me get a read on the situation.
Nice. This is a really spicy one. I think it will bring back Kaido. I think we will straight up bring back Kaido and make a little guy.
I've got the
So now we have something to sacrifice. We still have our Void Rend and Go for the Throat and Cut Down, all of which are wunderbar amusal? Removal. Hi Kaido. You made me a 3-3. I love you forever. Kaido's Planeswalkers are actually some of my favorites in recent memories. Let's kill their braids. Corrupted Conviction. I tried to say it fast enough that, like, you know, it would look and sound like I actually knew it ahead of time. To be fair, I technically did know what was coming, but...
Let's do this together.
We've now hit the point where, because my opponent doesn't really have many threats rolling on, we're just going to kind of start bonking stuff. And we got another Planeswalker, so Shieldred's Edict once again kind of falls flat. Our little 4/4 has Vigilance, it'll soon have Flying. Dang, you really hate Planeswalkers, opponent. Wow. Now let's go ahead and flip. You might think that's a weird choice, and I probably could have been on the beatdown plan this whole time.
Run away. We must protect the people.
I think that they had another Shieldred's Edict in hand. I really think that's why they kept doing the Eaten Alives. Like, you can see the pattern right here. Eaten Alive into Shieldred's Edict. I think they might have been trying to do the same thing. Eaten Alive into Shieldred's Edict to get rid of this Kaya, because it is providing me so much advantage. But yeah, nah, that wasn't happening. GG's Rakdos Sacrifice, I guess? So that is the deck. Let's talk about how it performed. Overall, I think it performed admirably. I think it struggled into mono red like I expected it would, but I think just about every deck struggles into mono red if you are anything but on the play. Mono red is easily able to kill you by turn 4, maybe even turn 3 if they're super lucky on their draws. I did decide to include a handful of sideboard cards that I think would be good in a lot of matchups. Stuff you might want to main board over some of these more expensive things, like maybe slot out a Kaya, slot out Vraska, slot out Invasion of Fiora, to maybe put in more cut downs, a Shieldred Edict or 2, and maybe March of Wretched Sorrow. We have a lot of cards that have black in the casting cost in this deck, so March of Wretched Sorrow can go pretty big. Also, a couple of Spell Pierces into those matchups where you're just playing the long grindy games and you maybe just need a little bit more oomph. Disdainful Strokes in order to hit some of those bigger Italis and Atraxas out there, and Dissipate, just because it's Dissipate and it's good. Overall, I still think this deck performs admirably. I think it performs very, very well. I apologize if you could hear that rumbling noise. I tapped my mic on accident. But we're still recording because I'm crazy like that. And this is my third take of this. Overall, I think the deck performs great. I think it's a little heavy on the top end. I think I might go back through, cut a Kaya, cut a Vraska, put them on the sideboard as more, I need to play a controlling game plan or a longer term game, and maybe cut out, say, Invasion of Fiora as well. As good of a card as it is, for some reason this deck seems to not go into Esper Legends on the ladder, which is really what Invasion of Fiora is in there for. Into Esper Legends, Naya Legends, Jodah Legends, those three like Legends crews, so to put it. Invasion of Fiora is a card for them, so you might want to sideboard it in favor of, say, some Marches if you're playing best of ones on the normal ladder. Overall, I think this deck is super fun and interesting, though. It really breathed a breath of fresh air into Standard for me, despite the fact that I'm still playing Mono Red after 3 sets now? I don't know. Mono Red has been in such a crazy position since the reprinting of Monastery Swift Spear. That card just blew it up. Funny enough, I think this deck would actually crush Soldiers, but we never got to play it in our gameplay, which is disappointing to say the least. But overall, regardless, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. It really helps the channel. And above all else, I hope to catch you in the next one.